Hello and welcome to a video all about how to do a Disney trip on a budget. Now, we recently did a reel over on our Instagram that you guys can follow down below, by the way, Traveling Tates, and it blew up. It went pretty viral. I think it's at like 1.3 million views at the moment.
Yeah.
So quite a lot, and it's all about taking your child to Disney when they're younger and things like that. And we got a lot of comments on it, basically saying that they couldn't do it. People were saying that they couldn't afford it, which is understandable, but they couldn't afford it, or that it was a lot of money. And
yeah, some really negative comments.
Yeah, so we decided to reply to a few of them and say that actually, you know, you can do Disney for a cheaper price. And people started to DM us and ask us, okay, well, if you can do it, then can you make a video explaining it? So we decided it's probably a good idea, because actually looking online, there aren't really too many videos on how to do Disney cheap.
Yeah.
Because it can be a really expensive holiday.
And don't get us wrong, we are not by any means rich. Like, we are normal people with normal jobs. And yeah, by no means could we afford, because one of the comments was, oh, I'll keep my 10k. And I thought, if I had 10k,
I'd be going to the Bahamas, not Disney. Because
don't get us wrong, like, we love it. And if we had 10k, then yeah, we'd definitely be going to Florida, which is our plan next. But again, as cheap as we can. Like I say, we're not rich. We do this. We've done Disney. We did it one time, like a little bit more expensive, and it ended up being more expensive, not because we chose it to be, because it kept getting cancelled and passports got lost and it had to be moved, and it was cheaper to pay the extra rather than lose all our money. So our first trip actually cost us more than we would have wanted to pay, but our trip that we've just done in February was really cost effective, and if we didn't do it on a budget, then we wouldn't have been able to do it.
No, and we're going again in October.
Yeah, again, doing it the same way
on a budget, and so we just wanted to share those sorts of tips that we have
so
for anybody looking to go on a budget.
And we've said to a few of our friends as well, and a few people we know, like, how we've done it, and a few people have ended up booking it, haven't they? Like,
people from work have done it. So these can really save you a lot of money. So
so we've written down a few tips. I've got them on my phone. So tip number one, the biggest one for saving money: don't stay on Disney property. We stayed on Disney property the first time we went. Because the first time we went, we came into a little bit of money, didn't we? Yeah. And we booked a trip for February 2022. It was last February.
Yeah, it was last year.
So it was last February that we were meant to go, and the whole trip, flights and everything, we booked through Magic Breaks because we'd never done it before. Never been to Disneyland Paris. I was really young, but obviously didn't book it myself. First trip that we booked since the beginning of COVID, wasn't it? So we thought we just want to book it through like a package, and at the time it was £900, which we didn't think for 4 days in Disney was that bad, considering some of the prices that we'd seen online before. So we booked it, didn't we, for February, and we said we came into a bit of money, we'll spend it on that.
And this one was staying at a Disney hotel.
This was staying at Disney, This was at Sequoia Lodge, so we ended up booking it, because then it got cancelled because of COVID and a few other things obviously happened. We ended up paying more than we wanted to. But yeah, the biggest tip: stay off property. You don't have to stay on property to like have a good trip. The reality is that you're going to be out of your room like majority of the time, and it is just a place to sleep. So where we stayed in February, we stayed at the Adagio Ceres,
which is a 5-minute walk. It's closer than Hotel
Santa
Fe.
5-minute walk.
Yeah, it's really closer than Santa Fe.
And like the B&B hotel, like, it's closer than a lot of the Disney partner hotels. Not obviously like Sequoia Lodge and Marvel and things like that, but it's really not far off. And we didn't see that much of a difference, did we, staying at Sequoia Lodge to staying at Adagio, I don't think.
No, well, the one main thing is a whole lot bigger, and we had a kitchen in there and everything.
Yeah, so we had like standard room at the Adagio Ceres, and it's in Marne Valley or Marne Vale, isn't it? So we had a whole kitchenette, we had a whole front room, a sofa bed that pulled out where Margot stayed. We had a bedroom, it was a big bathroom, separate toilet. It was like a whole apartment, and it was really nice. And if you think of when we stayed at Sequoia, whilst it was lovely, it was really nice. It was tiny.
A room.
There were two plug sockets, weren't there? And that's something you really struggled with.
Well, exactly. Yeah, because you had one plug socket next to the door on the floor, and my mum's just stayed there too, and it was the same in her room. So it wasn't just our room; it's actually every single Sequoia Lodge room. So you had one plug socket by the door, and then one on the dresser away from the bed, which is also quite silly, because
we had loads
if you need your phone at night, you know, you can't charge it at the same time.
Yeah, which I did on the trip just gone.
That, you know, whilst Disney hotels are lovely and you are close, staying off property saves you so much money.
100%. So we stayed in February, and bearing in mind, France don't have a February half term, so we found it a really good time to go. We stayed for 4 nights in February half term, and our hotel was £298. If you compare it to Disney hotels, like if we want to stay at Sequoia Lodge for 4 nights, you'd be talking about £1,600, I think.
Yeah, in thousands, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think the cheapest ones are the Cheyenne and the Santa Fe, but even those are still over £1,000. So I would definitely say stay off property, biggest tip. We have booked for this October as well. Doing it the same way, and it is a little bit more expensive because it is Halloween. And again, for the 4 nights, and we're going from the Sunday to the Thursday, it's £495. So it's a little bit more expensive,
but still.
But it's because it's seasonal and it's going to be a busier time of year, and they obviously expect that. So yeah, again, £495 compared to. I actually inquired, and we have an annual pass, and we'll speak about that in a minute. But I inquired because I get discount with our annual pass. It's 40% off Disney hotels, and I phoned up and inquired about all of the hotels, and the cheapest one still wasn't under £1,000 with 30% discount in October. So that's like our biggest tip: stay off site. And also, just on the back of that, you can still go into all of the Disney hotels. So the trip just gone, we one evening went to Sequoia Lodge for a drink in the bar. We went to Sequoia Lodge and met characters, because there are characters in the hotels. And that's one of the
benefits of staying at a Disney hotel. You get to meet the characters in the hotel, but you can still do that.
In the morning, you can still just go to the, so Sequoia Lodge, they do character meet and greet at 8:30 in the morning, and then what was it, 7 at night, half 7?
7 at night.
Yeah, so we went in the evening, we had a drink in the hotel, we met Goofy, and then we went for dinner at Marvel, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that was...
so you can still do that, because you're in Disney.
Yeah, you don't have to stay on site to go into the hotel. So lovely.
Yeah.
And actually, another money saving tip: there's loads of free activities in the hotels. Like there was a couple, weren't there, in Sequoia Lodge?
Yeah, they have like a colouring area, and there's people that work on it. So if you need a break, you don't have to pay to take them somewhere or do something in the park. You can take them out into the hotels, and there's basically free entertainment there.
Yeah, and you can just go around, can't you? Go and meet some of the characters. So I don't think, unless we won some money, I don't think that we'd stay on site again, would we?
No,
we would love
not.
to stay at Marvel. We would, because we're huge Marvel fans. We would love to stay there.
It is an incredible hotel.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really nice.
We don't need to spend that money.
No.
And if you can get a hotel for between £300 and £500, or a hotel between £1,500 to £3,000, you're going to choose a cheaper one. Because we spend all the time in the parks.
Tip number 2: for us, we drove, and we found that this was so cost effective for us. Really, really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you can't drive, which obviously not everyone can, and that's fine. Kat can't drive.
No.
I drove. So if you can't drive, then fly. We found that when we've compared prices in the past, it's much cheaper than taking the Eurostar.
Yeah, the train can be extortionate.
But yeah, so that's the next tip. If you can't drive, fly. But if you can drive, then drive. So so we found that by driving, obviously when you fly, you are limited to what you can take. And when we went last August, we could take a bag, and it had to fit underneath the seat in front of us. So
unless you obviously wanted to pay to upgrade to a large bag, which
I think it's about £60.
It just mounts up. Whereas in the car, you can just take whatever you want, can't you? You can pack whatever, as long as it fits in the car, you can take it.
So we took water, we took snacks. Like for Margot, we took a loaf of bread, we took some peanut butter, some jam, a box of cereal. So she was sorted for snacks. She loves a jam sandwich, doesn't she?
Yeah, crisps. We took all that sort of stuff.
Took loads of crisps, biscuits, just loads of bits to keep her going, because snacks can really add up in the parks, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So by driving, we were able to take loads more stuff, made our trip much more cost effective. We took loads of fizzy drinks, didn't we? Yeah. We took so much more luggage than last time.
Yeah, well, we were able to just take big bags and just put whatever we want.
We just had to lug them around all the airport, and then because we did fly last time, and whilst it was fine, going all the way through to find the Magical Express or whatever.
That really
it was so long, and it was so stressful. So driving, not just cost effective, but just peace.
Yeah, and it's genuinely, and you'll probably have seen this in lots of videos, but it's genuinely not a horrible route, is it? For someone like you as well, who's quite a nervous driver in other countries.
Someone else drive
No, but in other countries,
yeah.
Definitely.
So I've only, the longest I've driven to Wales and I've driven to Birmingham. We're in Portsmouth, so that's like my biggest journeys I've done. So yeah, I was really nervous to drive in France, really, really nervous, because I'd never done it, and my colleague at work had done it a few times, said, don't worry, it's just one straight road, and it was, wasn't it? It was literally one straight road. The route there was lovely, so quiet. We went early in the morning, didn't we, about 7 o'clock. So getting there, fine. Getting back, it was a bit more hectic on the roads, wasn't it?
Well, because a lot of lorries are coming through to get onto the Eurotunnel.
Yeah, and on the inside lane, it's just all massive lorries. And obviously, if you don't like driving past big lorries, like I think a lot of people don't like doing that, it wasn't the most peaceful experience. But again, we got there, it was fine. And the duty free in the Eurotunnel was much better than the airport, wasn't it? So really good deals.
It is, and price wise, I think for the Eurotunnel was about £180.
£180, yeah. And fuel we did really well as well. So we've got a Costco card, which again, if a family member or friend have got one, borrow it, and unless you've got one yourself. Fuel at Costco is so much cheaper. So I've got like a Kia Sportage. What litre is it? 1.6. And if I can get a full tank for like £65, can't I, of diesel?
And that got us from Portsmouth to Paris. That includes driving to Folkestone as well, to Paris. And we could have got probably about halfway back.
We did get halfway back.
Yeah, and you just needed to fill up from there. So
how much did we put in at the BP in France?
We put €60 in, but we could have put €30 in.
Yeah, because I still used that for like about
quite
a week after we got back.
You know, you don't have to put that much in. So realistically, it was about £90 for the fuel.
Yeah.
So
overall $270 to drive, which I didn't think was that bad.
No, because you don't have to pay for transfers to and from the airport.
Yeah.
You do
One thing
like that.
you do have to do though, you do have to make sure you have the right kit for your car. So you need a UK sticker. There are certain things you need in your car, like what's it called? Not a life jacket.
No, you need a first aid kit. You need high vis vests, life jacket, just in case you start floating off. So you need high vis vest. There's a whole kit you can get on Amazon for about 20 quid. I'll put it in the description. It gives you everything, and you just keep it in your car, and there's no stress after
And
that.
you need European travel insurance, which I did upgrade on mine, and I think for the year it was £70. And I pay my monthly, so it didn't make that much of a difference to my monthly cost, like a couple of quid. So it wasn't it wasn't that bad.
But it's worth driving, or it's worth flying if you don't drive. But the Eurostar, the train, it's really
just from our
expensive.
experiences personally. Like, I mean, if you've had an experience on the Eurostar where you've got it really cheap, that's amazing, and continue to do that if you can get it at the right time of year. And we'll speak about when we go in a minute, why we choose to drive, because it's cheaper for us. But if you get it cheap on the Eurostar, we're not saying don't use the Eurostar, we're just saying in our experiences in the past, it's been much cheaper to drive specifically or fly. Okay, next one. Purchase food off-site. I'm not saying all meals, because sometimes if you're like deep in the parks and your kids are hungry, sometimes it's not possible.
Some things in the park are reasonably priced as well.
Definitely.
So it's not that don't purchase food in the parks, but
if you can, definitely prepare in advance, do a bit of research, and buy some bits before. So Val d'Europe, which is a humongous shopping centre, is one stop away on the train, or it's about a 15-minute walk, isn't it? From
not long.
Disney Village.
And the train for both of us was like €2 something to get there.
I think €2 each.
Yeah.
And Margot goes free because she.
So it's not expensive to get there either, and that stops right outside pretty much the shopping centre. So
Yeah, and in that shopping centre, there is a huge supermarket on the ground floor. I can't remember what it's called.
No, but you'll see it. It's massive.
Yeah, it's huge, and there was a DJ, so you'll hear it. But in there, we went in and we got a gigantic pastry box, and it was pain au chocs, croissants, and just some pastries. It was €5, and there was about 12 pastries in there, weren't there?
It lasted us the whole time.
Yeah, we had that for breakfast every day. Margot's obviously really taken because we're driven. And then we also, what else did we get in there? We got like some sweet snacks and things, didn't we? Margot wanted some milk. But we just bought snacks before.
It was really cheap.
And if you fly, definitely go there, because obviously you're not going to be able to take food with you. go there first, stock up on snacks, and bring it back to the room. I think even in an on-site park, I think is there a fridge in the rooms? Maybe not.
No, there's not on site. So it might not be worth getting things that you need to put in the fridge if you're staying. Most hotels probably don't have fridges anyway.
But like crisps, fruit,
those sorts of things, and like pastries and things like that.
Bread,
and again, we only spent the pastries like €5. We bought snacks. And we spent about like 12-15 euros in the shop.
Really noticed compared to our trip in August when we came and we did not do our research at all. We spent so much money. But I think in 4 days, I think we spent about 600 quid
on food,
on drinks and food. And that's another thing. I think I've written this further down actually. Yeah, I have. We'll come back to it. But drinks in the park were absolutely extortionate. So buy them before if you can, and we'll speak about that in a minute. So
so the next one, and this one is completely based on circumstances, and if you feel like you're going to be going for quite a while, or if you feel like you're not, if you feel like you're going to be returning, but it's to consider purchasing an annual pass. If you're going for 4 days, it's a no-brainer to just buy the annual pass anyway, because you save money.
When we looked at going again and we looked at the annual pass, if we wanted to buy tickets on the website, I think it was like 800 and something euros for 4 days in the parks for me and you, wasn't it? Margot goes free because she's under free. So that's what the price was at the time. And then when we looked at the annual pass, for both of us, it was 700 and something euros.
Yeah.
So for us, even if you were going on one trip and it was for 4 days or longer, it's cheaper to get an annual pass than it is just to buy tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best thing with an annual pass, which is what we've decided to do as well, is you can actually pay monthly on an annual pass.
So it spreads the cost over the year.
It spreads the cost over the year, and I think we paid £25 a month each.
Yeah, so we had to put a down payment for both of us put together. So we got the Magic Plus annual pass, which is the second from the top. I don't think we needed the Infinity because we weren't driving to the parks for the free parking.
No, because we get free parking with our one anyway. But
But yeah, we just didn't need to.
We just didn't need to spend the extra money on it. Yeah. But the Magic Plus, because of the dates that we go, the Magic Plus was the best one for us.
Yeah, so we get into the parks 350 days out of the year, and the only times you can't get in is the month of December and the weekends leading up to December, I think, including the last weekend of October, which we will just miss when we go.
Yeah.
So we had to put a down payment of 120 euros for both of us, so it's 60 each, and then per month we pay about £25.
Yeah.
For us, we didn't have £700 straight up front, so we wanted to spread the cost over the year. We knew for us and our budget and our income, we knew that we could afford £25 a month.
Yeah, it worked for us.
And I think for us, like, there are things that then we gave up, so then we'd have the spare £25, didn't we? That we didn't have to sort of think, oh god, where are we going to get it from? Like there are things that we had and that we have just stopped buying. Yeah. So the annual pass. And the other thing with the annual pass is that you can get discount in the restaurants, not just the restaurants in the parks, but also outside of the park. So
in Disney Village,
every
place
Earl Sandwich,
discount, all the shops,
all of the hotels as well.
Everything.
The only place that we found that we can get discount was McDonald's, which is obviously fine. It's
not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But all the other restaurants, and again that mounts up if you're buying things, and we had a really nice dinner in the downtown restaurant, and we saved. You get 10% off, don't you?
We saved loads of money.
Yeah, so we saved quite a lot of money on our food.
And because our service was amazing, it was literally immaculate, wasn't it? What we saved, we actually gave to our waiter in tips, didn't we? Guido.
Shout out Guido.
Really good. Another thing with the annual pass as well, if you have the Infinity Pass, you get a photo pass for free. So we really took advantage of our photo pass, didn't we? But with our Magic Plus, we didn't get it free, but we got it discounted. So usually I think it's 80 euros for the year for the pass. We got it for 59, but then they gave us our 10% discount on top, and we paid, I think, it must be more than 10% because we only paid 47 euros, didn't we, for us?
Yeah, so it was, we didn't pay a lot compared to what it could have been, because it was meant to be 90 euros, wasn't it? So something like that. Yeah, it was meant to be 90 euros, we paid 47 euros for it. So again, it's something you don't have to spend. You don't have to spend and buy the photo pass, but if you're considering
it, we wanted to.
Yeah, if you're considering it, and annual pass also helps you save on that. So our next one is to, if you can, avoid school holidays. Now we can't. We both teach, so that's impossible for us, and we've also got a little girl who will be going to school soon, so again it will probably be impossible for us for quite a long time.
And neither of us are planning. I'm certainly not planning on leaving teaching. I don't think, even though the state of the current
so
we're not planning on leaving.
So if you can, avoid school holidays, because you will save so much money
Definitely.
on everything, hotels, travel, because not many people travel at that time, and so you're just going to save a whole lot of money, and that's, you know, again, that's circumstantial, so you might not be able to do so, but if you can, it's just a tip, you'll save a lot of money.
I would also, as well, if you can, try and avoid weekends, because that was mad, wasn't it, the weekends?
Yeah, definitely.
But do your research before, look at when the French half-term school holidays are, and obviously try, if you have the flexibility to, try not to coincide with those and try not to coincide with ours. They usually run around the same time, but some of the weeks are like one after the other.
So, you know, and the prices do go up then. So it is just about doing a little bit of research. Yeah. Sometimes it can be quite lengthy, but it is worth it to save quite a lot of money.
Yeah, January is really cheap to go, like much cheaper than any other month. So yeah, just after Christmas, and when they take the tree down after the first week, that is the cheapest time to go. Even when we looked at hotels, they were so cheap, weren't they? Yeah. The next one, take a water bottle with you. There are places in the park that you can fill up your water bottle. There are loads of fountains outside the entrances to the park. Avengers Campus, there are a few water filling stations.
Near Peter Pan.
Near Peter Pan. If you don't want to spend money on drinks, which we did, this is why our trip last year ended up costing us so much money when we were there. We, again, didn't do our research, didn't know about Val d'Europe, didn't know about any of those things. We just sort of went after a very stressful time of my passport getting lost. And we were like, we should go have fun, whatever. And if you want to buy a bottle of water or a bottle of like Coke or Sprite, whatever, it was $4.20, was it?
Yeah, it was €4.20.
And it was just fine if you're really thirsty and you just need a drink right there and then. But for two of us, and then doing that like 3 or 4 times a day, it just absolutely rinsed us, didn't it? We were so really scared at the end of the trip. We were like, what have we done?
So this time what we did, because we drove, we just bought...
we took water with us and water bottles.
And a big box of Cokes as well. So we had fizzy drinks in the park every day as well.
Loads of Costco as well.
In our bag. So again, definitely recommend bringing drinks with you, water bottles. And also in the restaurants as well, they will fill your water bottle up for free.
Oh yeah, they do. If you ask, they fill up your water bottles for free.
So if you can't find a water filling station anywhere, just go into a restaurant and they'll fill your water bottle up for free.
So again, if you really want to do it on a budget, if you don't like fizzy drinks or whatever, save your money, don't buy the water, just take a bottle, or buy one bottle and just reuse it. Again, that's something we didn't really... I think it was the last day and we saw a fountain and we were like, oh my god, we've not even realise they had those. So again, you utilise the water fountains that are there, and they are dotted around, you just have to look for them. So the next tip is, if you have a Tesco Club card, or if you don't have one, get one. Because when you use your Tesco Club card, you get points, and you can either use these points to get money for shopping, or you can use them for vouchers. Now, if you save up £5 worth of vouchers on Tesco Club card, you can put this towards a Eurotunnel voucher for £15, because it triples it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So obviously that will save money on using the Eurotunnel, which again, it can all add up. And if you have like £10 or £15 of worth of points, then that just completely adds up. And if you're a religious Tesco shopper, then it might even pay for the whole thing.
Yeah, it genuinely could. And so, you know, it's something that, again, that's only if you are taking the Eurotunnel. If you're flying or if you're on the Eurostar, that's not really going to work for you, but you know, for us, that's something really handy, because we can change our points for the Eurotunnel. So it's just a small tip, but if you're thinking of driving over there, get a Tesco Club card. The
next one, if you can, book in advance. When we booked our February trip, we booked it literally as soon as we came home from our August trip, didn't we? So it was a good 6-7 months in advance. And we found that we got a really good deal, and the closer we got, I thought, see how much the trip is now, and the hotel was so much more expensive. So book it in advance if you can. But we booked through booking.com, so we didn't pay it on the day, we paid it when we got there. And again, that's just something that we found handy, because it gave us a bit of time to save up. But if you have the app on booking.com and you use the app rather than using the website, you get an extra discount. It's usually about 5%. But again, that made such a difference for us. And we're actually getting married in Italy this year, aren't we? And we've booked both of our trips on the app. I actually put them first on the website, and then it came up saying, use the app and save. And I think initially we booked our hotels, And then it was a certain amount, and then when I did it on the app, I cancelled it, did it on the app. I think we saved like 300 quid or something like that, because
you save loads on the booking.com app.
We've obviously saved up for a really nice trip to Italy, so
Yeah.
our hotels are a little bit more expensive because it's something, obviously you get married, so it's like really special. And it's the first and only time I think we're really gonna sort of splash a little bit more, isn't it?
Yeah.
For hotels.
But it's just something to take note of, is that you get discount on booking.com. So,
on the app. Use the app on your phone. The mobile app saves you money.
Yeah. So your last tip is more about Disney merch, and again, this isn't something that you have to buy. You can go on a trip without merch. You can just wear your normal clothes, and it's not going to make a single bit of difference. But the thing is, a lot of people like to go to Disney and wear merch, and that's where this tip comes in, and that's to not always buy your merch from Disney themselves.
We never have we?
No, because it's just extremely expensive. My mum's just been to Disney, and she came back and she bought me a Flight Force t-shirt, because I like the ride Flight Force, and it was €40 for the t-shirt. Emily's eyes.
No.
Yeah, €40 for the t-shirt. Now, this is a little bit of promotion here as well, but these shirts we've got on right now are from Very Nico, and they have official Disney merch, but the prices are just much better.
So much cheaper.
So it's just not going to the official Disney store. So, you know, and actually, to save yourself even more money, we have a discount code. So it's on the screen right here, but it's Tates, and that gets you 10% off as well. But, you know, this here I would pick up in the shop, and you know, and I'd buy something like this, and same.
I'm pretty sure
like
they have this.
Yeah, something really similar.
I'm sure I've seen this in the shop.
You know, Very Nico and places like that you know do, and this is licensed official merch, but it's just not those Disney prices. So things like that. You've also got Vinted, where you can get things second hand,
like
so
spirit
you don't mind
jerseys
wearing
and things like that, which are about, I think they're about 80 or 90 euros.
Yeah.
My family actually bought me one back from Orlando back in when they go October.
Yeah.
And the price tag was large.
Yeah.
And not something I would have bought for myself.
And you just think you can go onto Vinted and things like that, or you know, places like Very Nico, and you can buy things for so much cheaper. And you know, Vinted, I got a jumper, vintage one that I've had in a couple of posts on Instagram as well.
The pink one.
And that was £4. Yeah. £4.
And that was official Disney, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's
from quite a long time ago. But again, you can find things like that really, really cheap.
I think for ears as well, like ears in
really
the park
expensive.
can be really expensive, especially if you go with a couple of kids or a couple of adults, however you decide to do your trip. If you'll get a pair of ears each, and it's like 5 of you, that's going to be over £100 or €100. Well, yeah, £100 and €100. But we have used 2 companies, haven't we? We've used We're All Ears, and you're going to link it.
Yeah, and they're fantastic.
And Tinks Imagineers. And I think they're about £10.
Yeah, some of them are even about £7. And when you compare that to, you know, the prices of the official Disney ears, which
and
are
they're
about
just as good
£30.
quality.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they're really unique. And I had to actually have my WandaVision ears that you got me for Christmas. From Tinks Imagineers, wasn't it? And our lanyards we got from We're All Ears, and we're going to get some of those in the future, aren't we? Because they look really good. So for Margot and stuff when we go on the next trip.
So you know, again, these aren't things that you have to buy, but just as a little extra, if you want, you know, to have the merch and to wear things like this, you know, you don't have to always go to the Disney store. You can go to Etsy, you can go to Vintage, you can go to Very Nico, you can go to places like that.
And we love to shop local. We love supporting small businesses.
Exactly, supporting those small businesses. And it's just fantastic.
And they're such talented people, and it's like such a I could not make a pair of ears. No. I could never do that. So I think give your money to people who really work hard for it. Not saying obviously Disney doesn't, but I mean it's a humongous
company.
Corporation.
Corporation.
We love it, but not much to buy the ears.
So that's pretty much, you know, our list of how to save money. It's making sure that you stay off site. It's making sure that, you know, if you can travel when it's the cheapest to do so, not always buying the official merch, making sure that you don't always eat in the parks and actually buying the food elsewhere. And it can save you loads of money. I mean, our last trip cost us
in February.
Our
whole trip all together. With spending money, with spending whilst we're there, and we went for 2 really nice meals. About £800.
Yeah, so it can, and again, you know,
that's with everything, spending everything whilst we're there. Even we picked up a birthday present for Margot there. We did loads, didn't we? We did loads, but where we had saved so much by like planning ahead and taking things with us, that could have easily been so much more. But yeah, driving, petrol, food, presents, everything, 800 or less, definitely, yeah.
So
I wouldn't pay more than that again. I don't think.
And again, we're talking about Disneyland Paris here, but you can also use all of these tips for Walt Disney World. It will be more.
Drive there, but
no, that's the one you can't do. But it will be more money.
Around.
Obviously, it's a much more expensive holiday.
Yeah.
But again, you can get Walt Disney World and Orlando and all those sorts of things
cheaper.
A lot cheaper, and it's just using those same tips. You don't have to eat on site.
Shop before.
Shop before.
I've spent my whole life going to Disney World with my family. Been really, really lucky. My mum's taken me like every year when I was younger. Really like fortunate position, and I don't think we ever ate in the parks ever, and that's how she afforded to take us every time, my mum and my dad, because we would go for breakfast at like IHOP, which I know is obviously a bit more expensive now because everything's gone up, but we ate at IHOP, or we got pizzas from Walmart, and everywhere we ate off-site. We ate in Disney Springs it was at the time, Disney Village, downtown Disney was, and now it's Disney Springs. So yeah, definitely eat off-site, plan ahead. Watch more videos like this, look at what other people's experiences are. There are people who, some people that we got our tips from initially, like when we drove, was so Helena and Martin.
And you know that they said that it was one of the best things to do, and we watched quite a few different vlogs on it, and you know we did
our research.
We did our research first.
Yeah.
I hope this has helped. I hope this has cleared some things up as to
hopefully no more negative comments on that room. Don't have £10,000.
No, hopefully it's cleared things up as to how we can afford to do it, and everyone's in different circumstances and positions. We're not saying you have to take your child to Disney, or what we're saying is
we love a haven holiday. We've just got back from one, and we spent £109 on our caravan for the weekend, and we loved it. Like, experiences are amazing regardless, but if you wanted to go to Disney, these are the tips.
So apart from that, thank you for watching. Thank you to Veronico again for sending out these shirts, and we got that Disney merch and we didn't have to pay Disney prices. So that was really kind. And then apart from that, that is pretty much everything. So hopefully you've enjoyed, hopefully you've got some tips, and hopefully if you're planning to go to Disney, you can do it for cheap.